16 years after DICE first debuted in Battlefield 1942, the studio is finally returning to the war that kicked off one of the most successful shooter franchises of all time. Battlefield 5 brings soldiers back to World War II, but don't expect it to be a rehash of battles you've fought before. This ambitious sequel dramatically changes the franchise in such fundamental ways that could reverberate for years if implemented well. In returning to World War II, DICE had other plans than a nostalgic trip down memory lane. To be frank, we've all played it. We've all been there, says senior producer Andres Morel. We've all stormed the beaches of Normandy and cleared every bunker in France. I think some of us can probably navigate the countryside by muscle memory alone. And we've also seen the movies. So for us, we really wanted to give our players something new. Battlefield 5 instead takes players to a new place like Norway, the Netherlands, and North Africa to expand beyond the common settings and tell new stories about the war. The centerpiece of this effort is Grand Operations, a new twist on the popular Operations mode featured in Battlefield 1. While the last version had players fighting for control of multiple objectives across multiple maps, Grand Operations further extends the variability by introducing new modes as the battle advances through 4 stages. For instance, the first stage could have attackers parachuting in behind enemy lines in Rotterdam to take out long-range artillery, preventing invading forces from attacking. The second would concentrate on the head-to-head class of ground forces after that artillery is neutralized, and the third stage would switch maps to a bombed-out version of Rotterdam. Should the invading force achieve a decisive victory at this third stage, the battle would be over, but if it's close, a fourth stage called Final Stand plays out. Here, supplies are scarce, and once a squad is wiped, they cannot respawn. This frantic war of attrition forces squads to work even more closely together, a common thread that extends throughout Battlefield 5. We've all played Battlefield matches where half your team is composed of lone wolves, content to sit in an elevated position and snipe rather than support the cause. In Battlefield 5, these losers won't gain access to the game's most interesting weapons. As squads complete objectives and support each other, they gain squad reinforcement points. These can be used to acquire valuable assets like supply drops, smoke barrages, specialized vehicles only your squad can spawn into, and even a volatile V1 missile that can punch a hole in the finest defenses. To further stress teamwork, DICE is introducing some new mechanics as well. For the first time in the series, any squad member, regardless of class, can revive their comrades. These revives take significantly longer and give back less health than if a medic was performing the duties. Battlefield 5 also introduces fortification to the mix. The game's impressive destructibility can make it sometimes hard to find cover in later stages of matches. However, now, any soldier can rebuild parts of structure and deploy sandbags, resupply points, and anti-tank objects. The support class has even more tools at its disposal, including building or repairing stationary weapons. The best and most explosive example of renewed focus on team play is the towing system. Who doesn't want to hitch an AA cannon on the back of a tank and drive around with both cannons firing, right? Other oft-requested gameplay changes include a new ballistics system that makes it easier to learn burst patterns for various weapons, and the ability to throw back grenades. Multiplayer isn't the only front receiving reinforcements from DICE. After years of lackluster campaigns, Battlefield 1's short story approach to single-player content won over fans and critics alike. War Stories returns for Battlefield 5 with new tales based on real events that the studio hopes reverberates emotionally. Beyond its single-player ambitions, Battlefield 5 also introduces a brand new 4-player cooperative mode called Combined Arms. DICE built a mission generator system so it can continually push out new challenges for the mode. Since it incorporates the same squad mechanics as the multiplayer mode, DICE hopes new players can use Combined Arms to familiarize themselves with the complex systems, which should be a boon before jumping into the competitive multiplayer. Regardless of which mode you're playing, DICE plans to continually provide new experiences via Tides of War, its new approach to post-game content. Gone are the days of splitting the player base between those who play for access to new maps and those with the base game. Moving forward, all the content is accessible to everyone. These new content drops are scheduled every couple months and could feature new war stories, combined arms, missions, multiplayer maps, multiplayer modes, and rewards. All these rewards feed into a robust progression system that lets you customize your characters, weapons, and vehicles to your heart's content. For the first time, you can alter your soldiers' looks from head to toe, changing their face, hair, face paint, and clothing. Customization extends to unique perks you can put on your character class or vehicle. And if you want to switch things up, you can create a new additional to your company. To improve its storied franchise, DICE is looking inward, addressing long-standing community grievances and exploring new ways to push Battlefield's unique brand of squad-focused gameplay forward.
Munition für dich.
Less than an hour's time. All that will be left will be ashes, then cosmic dust.
Da, Munition.
Destroy the floating ship approaching us.
Die Munition geht aufs Haus.
It's looking bad, soldiers. Close, close. Okay, defend the last artillery cannon.
Hier, ich hab Munition. Hier, Munition für dich. Hier, Munition. Mach was draus.
Bertha. We have now lost objective Bertha. We have lost objective Anton.
Ich werfe Granate.
Ausgezeichnet. Objective Bertha taken.
Helft mir! Ihr müsst mir helfen! Helft mir! Scheiße! Überall!
Objective Bertha. We are losing it.
Hier, Erste Hilfe!
Objective Bertha. It has been lost. Objective Anton is being lost. Yes, we have lost objective Anton. This sector is lost. Retreat. Your sector needs to be defended.
dreckigen Affen!
Be warned. Objective Bertha is being lost. Careful. Objective Bertha has been lost.
Granate vergeben.
Be aware. We are losing Objective Anton. Be aware. We have lost Objective Anton. They are ready to take the final objective.
Zeit zum Aussteigen. Kein Gesicht, vergiss man. Bin leer, lade nach! Munition!
Half of the enemy has been taken out. Soldier, return to the fight. We need you.
verwundet! Ah! Blut! Überall!